America. Something happened to me during the show last night. I was listening to this bald communist that we played on the air last night, and it started my mind thinking that I have to explain something to you. We have to go back and learn a little bit of history, because, well, let me show you. This is the clip that made me start thinking about it last night. Here's the bald communist.
We have to help bring this government down. We have to help destroy this system, and that requires increasing the alienation that working class and oppressed people feel. The way change is going to happen in this country is through the destruction of what we call the United States of America. I'm opposed to white supremacy, not because it's white people involved. I'm opposed to the system that we traditionally call imperialism, and the idea that some people have rights and privileges that are not granted to all human beings. And the solution to that problem is called communism and socialism, and we should put it in our mouths. We should say it when we say, what is your politics? I'm a socialist. I demand that we have health care for people, and it's not a demand that's negotiable with insurance companies. We will take your insurance companies. We will take the farms in this country. We will shut down the military apparatus in this country, and I'm tired of being told to stuff my anger back in my pants.
Okay, this is the problem. You notice he says, I'm tired of a system where some people don't have rights. And then he says, and I will take your farms. I will take your insurance companies. You see? It's big government. It may sound peaceful and nice and utopian until it gets to the end. I've been talking to you about the danger of progressives in both parties for some time, but people seem to get confused. They don't really even seem to get what a progressive is, and then they don't understand how a progressive can be on the left and the right. I think you need to know that danger is approaching and what it looks like. But it requires knowing history first. Taking ourselves out of the moment and look at this with a longer view. Do not look at this through the lens of Republicans and Democrats, the traditional left and right. You have to look at this separated from it to be able to see it. Last night I showed you this chart. I told you this chart and I said to you that really here's your right and left, but it doesn't make sense because on the end of this chart is anarchy and the other chart is fascism and communism. Progressive government progresses to this, and here's the republic. George Washington said government is a necessary evil. It's like fire. It's good while you're the master of it, but not if it's the master of you. I don't think everybody in government is evil. The problem is progressivism. It's a cancer. You've heard me say it before. It's baby steps. The root of the word is progress. Well, progress towards what is the question? What everyone on the left is afraid of is some sort of government. It'll be some sort of Christian zealot state, clinging to God and guns, a religious zealot jail of sorts. But we already have that example on the planet to look at. What does it look like? Iran. This guy. This is total government on the right, if you will. Total religious government. It's amazing to me every time I see this guy there. They're not afraid of him on the left. They're not afraid of him. They think he's ridiculous, but they are afraid of only that possibility here with people like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. He's scary. You know, I don't think that's Jerry Falwell. I mean, I know they look alike, but that's Jerry Falwell. Jerry Falwell. There's a difference. There's a big difference. But that's what the left is afraid of. We're going to have Hitler, a fascist, or we're going to have Ahmadinejad or, you know, Jerry Falwell, and we'd have total government. We'd have total government. Let me put it over here. Here's on the right. We'll have total government. That's what they're afraid of. Okay? Then on the left, we have the fear of this, communism. We have Mao, and we have Lenin and Stalin and Castro and Chavez. That's what they're afraid of over here. We have all of them. Do we have Pol Pot anywhere? I love good. You don't often get to use. Yeah, there you go. You don't often get to use a good picture of Pol Pot. These are all fun guys. Well, this guy's doesn't belong here. These are all fun guys too. These are places that nobody in America wants to go. Who wants to live with these people? Nobody. Except the lunatics. But let me show you. Everybody says it's left and right. It's not. The Republicans and the Democrats, they're actually up and down. They're up and down. That's what this is. Okay? It's on the ends of the spectrum that these guys exist. See, the choices that we have on this spectrum, anarchy at the very end. Anarchy, and it ends with total government over here. We've never been for total government, and we've never been for anarchy either. Our founders started the country after we won the Revolutionary War, and they started our country not with the Constitution, but with something called the Articles of Confederation. It set up such a limited government that the whole thing flew apart. You couldn't even do business across state lines. Our country was a total mess. Do you know who the first president of the country was? This guy. John Hanson. No, it wasn't George Washington. John Hanson. But see, I said our country. It's a different country. Under the Articles of Confederation, they first put it right here. It was too close to anarchy. It didn't work. It fell apart. Every state was fighting against each other, cheating against each other. It was too close to anarchy. So in 1785, Congress knew that it wasn't working. And unbeknownst to them, James Madison and Thomas Jefferson had been exchanging letters, and they were trying to work on a totally new system of government. They knew that they were never going to get something this radical past any members of Congress, any of the states, because nobody trusted anybody anymore. But they had this thing called a republic. It moved this government a little farther down, moved it to about here. But they needed somebody to help bring everybody together. They needed somebody that they could trust, that everyone in the room would trust. They needed someone who they knew would bring everybody together, everybody would trust, and in the end, would do the right thing, even at his own expense. That man was George Washington. And then the old crew was back. And they were all back trying to put together faith, hope, and charity, a constitution. And they put it right here. Just past anarchy, but not too far down. Washington actually said very little during the convention. His presence is what held the coalition together. So Washington came. Madison laid out his ideas of a republic, and the states said, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We just left this system. We just left," well, it wasn't those guys at the time, but before these guys were known, it was this guy. It was King George. It was King George or Henry VIII or even, Vlad the Impaler. That's what it was. You name it. Oppressive killer governments, just different faces, different tactics, but the same killer oppressive governments. But Madison convinced them. We have the Articles. The Articles are not going to control you here. They don't control anything. We need just a little more powerful central government. But the central government wouldn't impede your right or your state's rights. You still get to be your own state. In fact, to make them feel better in the end, he said, look. We'll come up with 10 things. 10 things we promise as a federal government we will never, ever do. 10. The Bill of Rights. It was a promise to the states from the federal government. We will never, ever do these things. We will never take these rights from you, the states, or you, the people. Because, see, if this is Republican and Democrat, we should be here, where our founders put us. Instead, we seem to be moving here, back and forth. And history has been lost. It's important to understand this, because if we don't reclaim our own history, if we don't remember the things in our own past, the next generation is going to have to do this history all over again.